Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. Today's video is another part of the series on how to make money from music. And at the moment I am still concentrated and focused on how to make money from the actual song, from the music product as I like to call it, from something that is tangible. So rather than any other activities outside of it, okay? So again, going back, once you've got that, you've written that song, you've recorded that song, you've got the master of that song, this is what you can do with that entity, okay? So today, I'm specifically going to be talking about sync licensing, and this video is going to be very much an introduction to this topic for those of you who are completely unfamiliar with it, okay? And I will also expand in my future videos, I will show some examples of some of the libraries, some of the websites that you could approach in order to make this happen for yourself. But today, let's just explain the concept of it, okay? So what does it mean, sync licensing? Effectively, it means that music is used in various forms, if you like, or various media, maybe rather I should say. So for example, on TV, okay, so various films, series, TV programs, even like documentary programs, things like that, they all use music, okay? So that's one thing. There's also video games, for example, that use music, okay? So there's these various visual media that all use music, basically, So, and obviously, in order to use music, they need to take it from somewhere, okay? There needs to be some kind of a library, but also there needs to be a mechanism by which they can license that music, because effectively that's why it's called sync licensing. All this happens on a licensing basis, okay? So rather than selling your product like as a one-off situation that you just like sell it once to somebody and forget about it, once that music is created and it's available out there, effectively you can hopefully capitalize on it by licensing it, and you can license it to many different things, many different entities. Now, when it comes to big artists and signed artists, all of them, because they are signed to these big record companies, and there's also publishing companies that usually are like maybe like a trading arm of an actual record company, and the publishing companies manage the songs. So basically they would actively seek out opportunities for those songs to make money out of them, basically, okay? So you can imagine that, for instance, you could be watching a film and all of a sudden you hear a song by, I don't know, AC/DC or something like that, and basically the reason why this music is there, because somebody from the publishing company has put work into making sure that that particular song is there, and then it will sort of generate royalties and an income stream from that. Now that publishing company will take a cut out of that money that is being generated out of that. However, a songwriter, for example, and including the performers who are on that record, also will be entitled to royalties. For smaller artists, more independent artists, there is also a way on getting into the game. Now, there are platforms out there that basically they call sort of like music libraries or sound libraries or sync licensing libraries. So you can effectively sign up with some of these platforms, with some of these companies, and you can sign an agreement with them so that you make your music available on their library, and then they effectively will use that music. So whenever someone, so the reason the way this works at the other end is this in a film production, for example, on a TV production, on that kind of thing, there will be somebody that's called a music supervisor, okay? And that music supervisor is effectively tasked with finding music that suits that particular TV series or that or a game or a film. So they will be looking at the music that is suitable. So there might be a particular scene in a film, or a multitude of scenes, or the entire kind of vibe of what it actually is. And that music supervisor will be searching for that kind of thing. So they might, in that search, actually approach one of these sync licensing platforms and actually, well, ask them sort of, well, show me what you've got. Have you got anything suitable? And of course, these things will be listed under maybe specific genres or specific moods or vibes or stuff like that. Okay, so if you upload your songs and you take part in that, then your songs can be used. Now when your songs are used, you will effectively, the way this works, you receive like sync sort of royalties, like a fee. I think it's called syncing fee. And then but then you see, if your music is then used in one of these things, and this comes back to my explanation about music royalties in general, and how that all links back to the performing rights organizations, for example, that is that once that music features on television, for instance, you are then entitled to these royalties, to these different types of royalties that come out of that and are generated out of that. So it's not just a one-off payment, but you will get that sort of initially, but then there's this opportunity that this could become like a passive income, because you might be getting these royalties even for a very long time. It depends how long and how often that particular thing is shown on TV and so on and so forth. Now, in this introductory video, I'm just going to explain one thing, because there is something that you can go with an exclusive deal or a non-exclusive deal here. So this is something to keep in mind. So for instance, if you are going out there researching some of these platforms, you need to be mindful that some of them will want you to give them like an exclusive deal, meaning that only they will be able to use your songs, and that's it. It's basically exclusive to them. But then there's other platforms that will allow you to do what's known as a non-exclusive deal, meaning that you can also use the same music, for example, the same song or songs, with other sync licensing platforms. Okay, so you can actually increase or widen rather your opportunities for this music to get into a sync licensing opportunity. Something else to keep in mind is that I believe that some of these platforms are paid for, so there might be like a subscription fee for yourself or a one-off payment even to join them, whilst others are free, and then they only take the money once they've actually managed to get you that sort of syncing opportunity. So I think this is really important to keep in mind, because obviously as a small independent artist, every cost like that, it might be big. It depends on where you are on your music journey and your music career. So all these things are important to consider and keep in mind. But like I say, if you are already making music, if you already have songs and are making perhaps more songs, well, other than, performing them live, releasing your records, releasing your albums to your fans, I suppose it doesn't hurt to look into those types of opportunities, because, if the song is already there, you might as well try and use it and capitalize on it as much as you can. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this topic, and thank you very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in my next video.